I did it. So here's Wyatt, and I was like, it gave me the option to bring him on. So Wyatt was in our last group, and Wyatt, we just wanted to bring you on a little bit. Thanks for popping on and being available too.
What's up, guys?
What's up, dude?
Great. So Wyatt was in Tribe Trajectory, and then he also came to our event in South Lake, Texas. And Wyatt, I just wondered if you'd share a little bit about Trajectory with everybody.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, we cleared up a lot of clarification for us. We created a lot of systems and really fixed a lot of systems, and really allowed us to pull out the scarcity mindset and pull some trigger on some stuff that we really needed to fix. So it was awesome time. We really learned a lot, and just the social environment afterwards was pretty awesome as well.
That's awesome. And what was the biggest, if you had one biggest takeaway or like the most valuable thing that you took from the trainings or from the event, like the biggest thing that had the biggest impact on your business?
Yeah, the scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
Absolutely taking that away. So
that's awesome.
3 months ago, I never thought I'd pull a trigger on something like that. So just coming home with that confidence, it was game changing.
That's awesome. So scarcity mindset, for anybody who's not aware of it, we talk about it a lot. We talk about abundance mindset, scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset is all about thinking that you're not capable of doing something, or that in your area it's different, or that if you have one other competitor that you also can't be successful. These are the kinds of things that come up in scarcity mindset. And it's so important to just understand that there's enough for everybody. There's 331 million people in this country. There's plenty of people.
Yeah, there's
plenty of stuff to happen. Go ahead, Paul.
No, there's just so much. Talk about when everybody came to visit my area where I'm at. I can throw a golf ball and hit a jiu-jitsu gym now. It's gotten ridiculous. But like Amy said, you have to change your mindset. Otherwise, you just get depressed and frustrated. It's like, no, there's plenty. I mean, there's more Taekwondo schools and karate schools than there are jiu-jitsu schools in my area. So, I mean, it's like you're competing with them and other sports and everything like that. But like Wyatt said, the scarcity mindset is huge, especially when and we call it black belt brain. Like when we're teaching, the same thing as like when we're doing consulting is Amy and I have been doing this for so long. We're like thinking of like, okay, how do we help get to 300 students? And people like, why? Are like, hey, how do I get to 50? And you're like, oh shit. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. And it was fun. It was cool the last event because we had to talk to you because like with your story, like when you joined Trajectory, how many students did you have at the time?
Before?
Yeah.
Well, we had about 12.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a ballsy decision to, like you and Johnny did the same thing years ago. Johnny was like, well, F it, I'm in or I'm going to join the military. And some people are scared. They got like 12 students and they're like, I don't know what to do. So how many students do you have now?
We're pushing 40.
40. So that was like in
38
in like 10 weeks.
Dude.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like
tripled your school.
Tripled your school. And like we talked about in Fort Worth, going over some of the systems and things like that and some of your ad stuff and just little tweaks like that. It's like, you'll get to 50 and then we talked about when you get to 50, then it's another problem to go from 50 to 100. Then it's another problem to go from 100 to 200. But they're good problems to have. What I really liked about your guys' story, you and your wife, was, is like you guys, we basically at the last minute were like, hey, you want to come down to this thing in Fort Worth? And you're like, yeah, we're on our way, driving. And literally, because what we try to do is like normally Trajectory, you don't get to come to an event, but we were like, hey, you know what? Let's give a spot away. And I actually was going to give it to one of the guys at a local gym here in Fort Worth area. And they literally they opened my message, didn't even reply to it. And I was like, okay, well, that's pretty fucked. But, and so we're like, hey, and we asked Johnny, like, who should we give the spot to? And he's like, oh, let's give it to Wyatt, see if he'll come. And literally, you came on what, 3 days notice?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And how long was your drive?
15 hours.
15 hours. 15-hour drive, 12 students. I mean, and now you've tripled your business in like 10 weeks. And you went home and did some down payment stuff.
You changed everything like that.
Part of our,
on the way home.
On the way home.
On the way home.
Down payment before you started with us?
Sir?
What was your down payment before you started with Tribe?
We had a $199 down payment, and depending on how many days they trained a month, the price would vary anywhere from $85 the cheapest to $160 the most.
And what's it at now?
Now we're at $499 down and $399 down.
Yes, I mean that takes that's, and I know a lot of people when we talk to them like I could never do that, and it's like you guys never even complained. We're like, hey, this is Amy wrote out a price sheet for you guys, and you're like, okay, cool, it's our new price sheet, and like usually we get pushback like, oh, can I start off at $249 down, then I'll go to $299? You guys just went straight for the jugular.
I know, and this is what's awesome too. Like a lot of people, especially people watching this live, they may say, oh, well, when I get, this is the other thing that's awesome, and we need to give a shout out to Twyla as well, because Twyla is your wife, and she's phenomenal, doing a phenomenal job And might just be one of the sweetest people ever. And I love her accent so much. But I just love picturing her like dropping the hammer on people because, again, with her sweet voice and just like, just crushing sales, man. She's just awesome.
She signed up nonsense then.
She's what?
She signed up nonsense then.
Dude, it's so good. It's everything about it. It makes us really happy. But anyway, so a lot of people are like, oh, I'll start the down payment system when I have this killer facility or whatever. And can you just describe your facility real quick?
Yeah, so we're in the back of Anytime Fitness. It's where our mats are 30 by 30, and the building isn't much bigger than that. So the vault space is very limited, and we have a small little office. So it's just a one big compact room, and there's no drop ceiling. So I mean, it's
And who do you share it with?
Anytime Fitness.
Yeah,
and that's Zumba.
Zumba.
Yep, our schedules conflict with Zumba, so.
Yeah. So he's literally sharing a rented room out of an Anytime Fitness. This is not some 5-star facility where everybody's going to walk in and go, oh my word. Yes. This justifies this. Guess what? You don't have to justify anything. You have to bring value to people. So what do you charge? You charge according to the value that you're bringing, not the facility that you're in, not the hours that they're available or the hours that you're teaching. How much value are you bringing to people? And if you are having a hard time understanding why you would charge more, then you may have to look at the value that you're bringing to people. Are you not bringing enough value? Because that's what you're charging on. It's not these hard line things that we put in our head, these limiting beliefs. I can only charge this because I'm here, or this town, this building, this whatever. It really has nothing to do with that. And Wyatt is living proof of that. I got one more question for you, Wyatt. If somebody was on the fence about whether or not they should do trajectory, what would you say to them?
Oh, definitely jump on it. I was on the same thing, at the very first big portion of it. I never thought it would be this much of a game changer.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's so crazy because we all get caught up, and we've all been there. It was years ago for me and Amy, but it was like, when you're starting out, it's tough. Then you're like, oh, I don't know if this will work, and all yada yada yada. But really, it goes back. I forget whose book it was, but basically, you're just collapsing time. It's like, people can figure it out. It's going to take you 5 or 10 years, or you can do it in 60 days, like why it's done. And the cool part is like you'll follow along and we'll update why. But it's like, when I met you and your wife, I was like, oh yeah, they'll be at 100 students in no time because you like everybody else, like the majority of people that listen are probably like people complain or they want to second guess everything, or does this really work? And you guys were like, cool, I'll do that. And you're okay, you'll do that. It's like, just like jujitsu. It's like when you're trying to learn something, it's like, ask your instructor, you're like, well, do you think this really would work? And it's like, oh my God. So it's like you guys literally no excuses, no pushback, no nothing. You're like, cool, we'll change it. And it's like the results have been crazy. Like, when we were sitting down and you were talking and you were like, well, I've had 4 leads this month. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. We got to fix this. And then when we looked at it, and it was like a small little thing, and we fixed it, and your lead flow, I think we talked over Messenger, it's like tripled since then. And it's just like little tweaks can move such huge pieces. And then that's to get from 10 students to 40, 50 students. And then now we get you to 50, then it's 100, and then it's 100 to 200, 200 to whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's the coolest part about Tribe and everybody is it's such a different world because we're all on different adventures. Like Johnny's trying to build a gym to take over the world, like Chris Conley. I'm just trying to have my gym be profitable so I can travel more. It's like everybody's at different phases and different goals. So it's just fun but it's fun when we bring in new people that bring in, like this last trajectory group was probably the most fun we've had in a little while because it was a lot of like newer people. People that were just kind of getting going. And it's just super cool to see the results and how you guys all push so hard in the group.
And you can see that in the comments here too. I don't know who this is. This is still second best in the group.
Oh, that's Nader.
Is it Nader? Okay. I heard Nader didn't have Facebook at the moment, but yeah, I love this is one of the best unadvertised. Yeah, like one of the best unadvertised benefits of these groups is like the shit talking that goes on. It's like with love, shit talking with love. Is that a thing? Yeah. But the friendly competition where people work together and push each other, and it's just really makes it fun. It's so I think Barry talked in South Lake about how it feels sometimes. Actually, it might have been Joe Dressel. I can't remember exactly.
It was Barry then Joe.
Was it Barry? It was talking about being on an island. It makes when you're a business owner, it's hard to talk to your friends about this because they don't always understand. It's hard to talk to your family about it. Sometimes family members can get jealous of what's going on. It's just you sort of run out of people that you can really talk to about what this is, and without any judgment or with people who really get it. And this is one of those kind of safe places where you can talk about it and really honestly make friends. Like you can actually find people, make friends that are understanding of what you're doing and what you're going through. So it's really pretty cool. So yeah, if you want to get in on this, post in the comments, comment in here. We've got some people, some of our coaches who are going to be working with this group, Johnny Buck and Amanda Hanpa, and then Paul and I, of course. So we will be checking the comment thread in here for anybody who's interested in going through the program that Wyatt went through, that ultimately tripled his school in 10 weeks. And then we haven't even talked about revenue and profitability.
No,
and what that did
we could get on this thing all day.
Right, no, but you went home that first week and did how much in down payments total?
Well, like the next 2 days was 1,000.
1,000.
So cool.
Doing exactly what you were doing before. It's just extra. It's just extra money just by changing it. That's awesome. All right, we got somebody says, hit me up in here. Best decision I ever made was joining Tribe. Thanks, Barry. We're gonna have Barry on the show at some point too. But that's really cool. Wyatt, thank you very much for hopping on here. Did you have anything else for him, Paul? Did you have?
No, it was awesome.
Yeah,
it's just cool. It's going to be a fun story to follow because it's like,
I know.
I just like it when people do the work. It's just like in jiu-jitsu, it's so funny how jiu-jitsu gym owners were all like meatheads. We're like, I'm going to do it my own way because this is how I'm going to do it. But when we learned jiu-jitsu, we didn't do it our own way. We got a coach and the coach helped us and got us better. And it's like, so you see the guys that listen, like young guys like Wyatt and stuff. And you're like, man, the future is limitless for guys like that. It's going to be so cool. And the good thing, the last thing though, you forgot to mention though, that you're in like a thriving metropolis. I mean, there's like millions of people around you, right?
In your town?
No.
How big is your town? Because my town's different. There's not a lot of people. How many people are in your town?
12.
No, how many people do you have in your actual town?
12,000.
12,000.
Yeah. I mean, that is a thriving metropolis. So people listening, like, well, my school's not as big as Fort Worth or LA or New York.
Yeah.
Oh, if you're bigger than 12,000. So
okay.
I mean, it's such a cool story.
I love it. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Wyatt, for hopping on. We'll answer one or two questions that are in here as well. But Wyatt, we're going to go ahead and let you leave. But thank you very much again for hopping on and sharing your story. And again, cannot wait to work on moving to the next levels with you guys too. So